What is going on, guys? It is Fluxified here and welcome back to another video. The day is finally here. This is the week we have been waiting for. We have tons of new info for Rust Console Edition. We have news on the costing of the next-gen version. We have official confirmation of new modes of transport in the next-gen version. And we even have new screenshots showing the new FOV in the new version of the game. This is the week we have been waiting for. I am Fluxified. Let's get into this. So we're going to start with a new screenshot that we saw of the next-gen version of the game, this time showing the satellite dish monument, and once again we can see that amazing next-gen lighting being used in this scene, and you can actually see the yellow of the sun bouncing off the concrete on the floor of the monument. So it definitely does keep up the trend of the next-gen version of Rust console being very nice to look at, and overall just a big improvement from what we have currently. Next up, we got to see a new image of the new FOV in the next-gen version of the game, and this is something that I have seen players talk about for quite a long time in the current version. The FOV has always seemed a little bit off, and I do believe at the start of the Rust console lifecycle, this was in a better place, and then I think it's just been kind of bugged, and straight away you can see the differences. If you look at how the player is holding the AK, you can actually see a lot more of the gun in this screenshot, and you can also see how the surrounding environment as well just looks a little bit more zoomed out and not so zoomed into the player, so you can actually see a lot more around you as well. Focusing on the graphics in this picture, you can actually see the resolution increase in the AK the player is holding in the new gen version. If you compare it to the old gen version on the left, I mean, it's not even a fair comparison really. The amount of detail in the new gen AK just looks so much better, and I don't think there's any way anyone could ever go back after playing with that new gen version. It just looks so much clearer, so much better, and if this change is going to be reflective in all of the skins in the game, then I think we are in for a treat, because it definitely looks a lot better. So we're now approaching what I would say is the biggest news of the week. Bigger than the FOV, the new gen screenshots, all of that. Don't worry about any of that anymore, because we are getting into the real meat of this week. And that would be devlog number 38. Now this devlog might just look like your standard update from the developers, but really there are a lot of hidden things that you may not have noticed the first time you actually read through this devlog, and they are huge. So let's start with actually reading the contents of devlog number 38. We start with a small update from the developers just talking about how they're working hard on the native version of Rust console for the next gen consoles. They've also stated that they will refer to this as the new gen version and the current version as the old gen version, so pretty much what us content creators have been doing for a while now, but it's good to see them using the same terminology just so no one gets confused. The developers do then go on to say in the devlog that they're not quite ready to announce a release date or confirm the final list of features in the next gen version, but as soon as they do have those details, they will be ready to show us and let us know. And I do want to congratulate the developers for this, because this kind of conversation and communication from them is really what we all need, and it is good to see the developers doing this and not being quiet about the changes they're making or updating us really on the status of this next gen version, and hopefully this continues into the future. So then we go into the $1 million question that we've all been waiting for quite a long time now, and that is the pricing of the next gen version. Specifically, if you already own the current version of Rust Console Edition, the developers have now announced that officially you will not have to pay for the next gen version. This will in fact be a free upgrade, and let me tell you, this is amazing to hear. It's great to see the developers supporting all of us that have been there since day one for Rust Console, so it's amazing to know that we won't have to pay for this huge upgrade that we will be getting for Rust. And it really does show that they are in touch with the community and really just want to support us the best we can for supporting them since 2021 now. And wow, those years have really flown. I feel old, man. I feel old. But anyway, moving on. Now the developers have said that for anyone picking up Rust console for the first time, so that's anyone that doesn't currently own a version of Rust console, you will naturally have to pay for the next gen version, but the pricing of the next gen version for those that don't currently own the game is not currently clear, and the developers are not ready to announce that yet. Overall though, I just want to say it is a great thing that the developers are giving us this version for free. We can see that they put so much effort into this just from the screenshots they've showed so far, so the fact that we're getting this for free is honestly huge, and honestly I just can't wait to play it. I really hope it's not too far away, but at the same time, developers, take all the time you need to get this right, and we will follow you as we have been since 2021 now, and we will stick with the game moving into the future. So then the developers go on to give us a development update for the next gen version. Now most of these things I have already talked about. It's really just talking about the next gen screenshots that we've seen. So obviously we know we're getting better graphics, better performance, the resolution will be better, and they have said that the team are still working hard on adding even more visual improvements and optimizing everything under the hood as well. So it looks like the game will only get better to look at as the months go by. We then get 2 short videos showing combat in the next gen version, and one of them uses a skin for the AK as well, so we can see how the resolution looks on that, and I'll just play that clip for you right now. And I mean, look at that weapon inspect. It does look very, very nice. And like I said before, if all of the skins look this good, then we are in for a treat here. Now, I just want to point out one thing here, and I think the developers were hoping that we wouldn't notice. But if we look at the development update screenshot, what do you see in that? You're not sure? Okay, well, let me zoom in and show you. So I don't know if you can make it out, but in front of the player camera, there is a SAM turret looking into the sky. Now, this is a very sneaky tease by the developers here, but for those of you who don't know, SAM sites are in place to stop players flying overhead in aerial vehicles, such as the hot air balloon and the minicopter vehicle. So the fact that the developers are showing us a SAM turret in the game kind of tells us that we should expect some kind of aerial transport to also be in the next gen version. Now we do also have another tease at what specific aerial transport this will be, but I think this is proof that the developers have been listening. They have seen that we've been asking for these new modes of aerial transport and showing us that there is a SAM turret now in Outpost. That means that 100% we are getting some form of aerial transport on release of the next gen version. And scrolling down, we can see where the developers mention the content creator program. There is a picture of a hot air balloon in the background, so that is 100% confirmed now. So in the next gen version, we will officially be seeing the first kind of aerial transport in Rust Console Edition, and this is huge because just think of the possibilities. You can counter oil rig, you can run dome, you can try and run launch sites. You might die, but you can try. You can counter cargo, you can do so much more things. Just think of how many people now will try top downing your base because they can now land on your roof with a hot air balloon. It really is amazing that we're finally getting this aerial transport in the game, and wow, I mean, I can't believe it really. This year has been amazing so far for Rust Console. We've had the next gen version announcement, we've had now aerial transport, the new FOV, everything just looks like it's really shaping up for the experience that we've really wanted for Rust Console Edition. And I know I'm getting super excited over this, but this just goes to show that the future is bright for Rust Console, and if this is what we're getting now, just think about the future and what we may be getting as well. The developers also noted something I had mentioned previously in a video, and that's that while we're waiting for the next gen version, they will also be bringing out some new variants of the donut map that we have currently in the game. So maybe we see different map layouts, different monument layouts, maybe instead of the oil rig being in the center, the cargo ship's going to be in the center and just going round in circles. We don't know, but you know what? They are giving us new content for the old gen version, and this is something I've talked about previously, where if we don't get any content till the next gen version releases, you know, maybe those player counts will go down over time. So the fact that we are getting these new variants of the donut map really will keep players playing the game while we wait for the next gen version. The developers also also announced that there will be a public test branch for the next-gen version. They've said that whether it goes live at launch or later is still being decided, but the current plan is to release it when they're ready to test the first post-launch content update. And if this changes, they will also let us know as well. That honestly sounds good to me. Having the public test branch allows me at the end of the day to make my videos and show you what's coming to Rust console, and I can also have a little play about and see if we can find any quirky features or bugs as well that I can make a video about and just let the developers know as well. So always a good thing having a public test branch, and at the end of the day it allows us to test features early, so always nice. The devlog ends with the developers talking about the content creator program and just talking about some of the things I mentioned in my last video, where content creators chosen for the program will get access to new cosmetics, early access to devlogs and patch notes, and also a direct line of communication with the dev team. I don't want to talk about this too much as I did talk about it last week, but another great thing I think the developers are doing here, it allows content creators like myself and others to let the developers know how our community is responding to new updates and what the community wants, and really just voice the overall opinion of the players of Rust console straight to the devs. And I think that's always a good thing. For a game to succeed, I think communication is one of the biggest things. So yeah, very good thing here from the developers. So I think that just about wraps up this video. It's been a crazy week for Rust console, and every week before this I've been like, maybe next week's going to be the crazy one, maybe the week after, and this is the crazy week. We've had so much news, so much reasons to get excited for this next gen version, and I mean all the excitement, and this version of the game is going to be free for anyone that currently owns Rust console. That is crazy. That is crazy. But for now, that wraps up everything I have to say. If you do enjoy this kind of content, please be sure to like and consider subscribing to the channel as well. I do a video like this every single week summarizing all the news you need to know about Rust console edition, so do consider subscribing if you do want to stay up to date. For now though, I have been Fluxified, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the beach.